Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new session. So, from yesterday, we have started our YouTube live sessions for Nta Net upcoming exam in June. I realize many of you have really been enjoying this series, these sessions, and that's why we keep coming back and back with more and more sessions. So tonight also, I'm really looking forward to another meaningful session with some lovely discussion of questions. All right. Chalo. So let's get started. Let me start by sharing my screen. Yes. Right. So welcome again. Welcome to our Nta Net revision session number 2. And as I told you all, this week we will be revising British literature. So we are back with our new session of Nta Net British Literature Revision. Let's get started now. Okay, here is the first question for tonight. In his work, An Apology for Poetry, Sir Philip Sidney classifies poets into which 3 distinct categories? Let me also open your chat box and let's see what you all are saying. Yes, right. Tell me the answer. What would it be? Say. Yes. Good evening. Good evening. Please like the session. Okay. Yes. So in his work, An Apology for Poetry. So it's a work of Elizabethan literary criticism by Sir Philip Sidney. And it was written in reaction to what? To Stephen Gosson's School of Abuse, published in 1579, where he attacked the institution of poetry. He called the poets as liars, and that work was dedicated to Sir Philip Sidney without mission. Right. So what happened then? In response, Sir Philip Sidney wrote An Apology for Poetry or Defense of Poesy, and it is considered as a work which inaugurated the genre of literary criticism in Elizabethan England. This work was published posthumously, that is after Sidney's death, in 1595. And here, when discussing the uses of poetry and all, Sidney classifies poets into 3 categories. And these 3 categories are religious, philosophical, and right poets. Religious, philosophical, and right poets. Okay? So please remember, Sir Philip Sidney's An Apology for Poetry, the major work of Elizabethan literary criticism, published posthumously in 1595, and it was written in response against Stephen Gosson's School of Abuse, published in 1579. All right. Very good. Next. Which of the following is true in relation to the publication of Milton's Paradise Lost? Paradise Lost, it's a literary epic by Milton in blank verse. Right? Tell me, which statement would be true here about Milton's Paradise Lost? Say. What would be the correct answer? You know this. It's not difficult. Yes. The first edition of Paradise Lost, which came out in 1667, it was organized into 10 books. And we also know that the second edition of Paradise Lost, which came out in 1674, had 12 books. So here it is correct that the first edition of Paradise Lost, which came out in 1667, had 10 books. Had 10 books. And Paradise Lost was initially conceived as a tragedy by Milton. It was called as Adam Unparadised. Adam Unparadised. Okay, and please remember the second edition of Paradise Lost was published in 1674 and it had 12 books. And this is about the first edition. All right, I hope all of you are following. Right, next. Milton's use of in medias res at the beginning of Paradise Lost, that is starting the action with the fallen angels in hell. In medias res means in the middle. In the middle. So we see that Milton's Paradise Lost starts from the middle as well. It starts with the action with the fallen angels in hell. This convention of beginning literary epics in medias res means from the middle is borrowed from which classical epic poet? This convention of starting epics in medias res means in the middle. This convention of epic was borrowed by Milton from which classical epic poet? Yes, Homer. Very good. This epic convention was borrowed by Milton from none other than Homer. Homer's epic Iliad that begins in medias res means in the middle. It starts from the middle of action. From the middle of action. Very good. Next. How many years of service does Mephistopheles promise to give Faustus in exchange for his soul? It's a question from Dr. Faustus. Yes. Dr. Faustus is a tragedy by Marlowe. Marlowe was a university wit who is famous for his tragedies in blank verse. He has written many tragedies like Tamburlaine the Great, The Jew of Malta, right? And Dr. Faustus is another great tragedy of Marlowe. Here we see that Dr. Faustus sells his soul to the devil, Mephistopheles, in exchange for knowledge. He sold his soul to the devil. And the devil, Mephistopheles, said that I would serve you for 24 years and then your soul will be mine. For 24 years, all of your wishes will be fulfilled by me. I will be at your service for 24 years and then I will take your soul. And that's what happens by the end of the play when he is dragged into the hell. When Dr. Faustus is dragged into the hell. Right? Yes, very good. Next. In which act of William Wycherley's The Country Wife does the famous China scene happen between Horner and Lady Fidget? Again, we know that a restoration comedy of manners will be very important, right? So The Country Wife, it's a famous comedy of manners. The Country Wife, it's a famous comedy of manners by Wycherley, a major playwright of the time. So in this scene or in this play, we see that Horner, this man is pretending to be important so that he can get easy access to others' wives. Horner is pretending to be important so that he gets easy access to others' wives. Right? And here in this play, there is this famous China scene. China scene. It's a very sexually vulgar scene, right? And it's there in Act 4 of this play. It's there in Act 4 of this play. Correct? Yes. All of you, please like the session. Only 7 likes. Why? Okay, next. Which of the following statements is correct regarding the publication of Shakespeare's sonnets? Tell me. Shakespeare wrote plays, he wrote sonnets. Shakespeare wrote 154 sonnets. Right, Shakespeare wrote 154 sonnets. So which statement here is correct about the publication of Shakespeare's sonnets? What is true? That the majority of the sonnets of Shakespeare were published in 1609 by Thomas Thorpe. Okay. The majority of the sonnets of Shakespeare were published in 1609 by Thomas Thorpe. Option B, A nahi. Clear? Will you all remember that the majority of the sonnets of Shakespeare were published in 1609 by Thomas Thorpe? Okay, right. Yeah. Next. Oh. So we have already started our admissions for our December net course. If you're planning to sit for the December net course in 2026, you can join us. And the early bird offer is going on right now. So if you purchase our course now, you will get our course at a discounted price of 24,000 only. And you will also get our crash course for free. Okay, so come join us. Chalo. What is the only physical change to the setting in Act 2 compared to Act 1 of Waiting for Godot? So, Waiting for Godot, a tragicomedy in 2 acts. Waiting for Godot, a tragicomedy in 2 acts. It's an absurd drama by Samuel Beckett. It's an absurd drama by Samuel Beckett. And it's a tragicomedy, or we can say it's an absurd drama in 2 acts. So there is a change which happens in the setting from Act 1 to Act 2. Yes, the tree in Act 2 has grown a few leaves, which symbolizes hope, renewal, fertility. Right? Yes, the tree has grown a few leaves. Very good. Ayo, I forgot to give the question separately and the answer separately. But okay, let's discuss this. In which two of the following plays does the character Falstaff appear? Falstaff appears in which plays of Shakespeare? Falstaff appears in Henry IV Part 1 and The Merry Wives of Windsor. Okay, it's a very important question. That Falstaff appears in which plays of Shakespeare? He appears in Henry IV Part 1 and The Merry Wives of Windsor. Tell me, Puritan is a character in which play? Not Puritan. Malvolio is a Puritan character in which play? Tell me. Malvolio is a Puritan character in which play? Tell me, Malvolio is a Puritan character in which play? In Twelfth Night or What You Will. In Twelfth Night or What You Will. It's a mature romantic comedy by Shakespeare. Forest of Arden is the setting of which play? Forest of Arden is the setting of which play? As You Like It. As You Like It is a pastoral romantic comedy by Shakespeare. As You Like It is a pastoral romantic comedy by Shakespeare. Okay, right. Very good. Okay. Can I ask you all some questions orally? Will you answer? If I ask you some questions orally, let me ask you some questions orally. Okay. Yes, tell me, who are the four wheels of the English novel? Who are the four wheels of the English novel? Who are the four wheels of the English novel? Samuel Richardson, Henry Fielding, Tobias Smollett, and Lawrence Stern. Lawrence Stern. Okay. Who coined the phrase four wheels of English novel? Who coined the phrase four wheels of English novel? George Sainsbury. George Sainsbury. The same person who coined the phrase university wits. University wits. Tell me, which university wit wrote the first picaresque novel in English? Which university wit wrote the first picaresque novel in English? Thomas Nash. Thomas Nash wrote the first picaresque novel in English. Okay, okay. Next, tell me, which novel of 18th century is very postmodernist in its sensibilities? Which novel of the 18th century is very postmodernist in its sensibilities? Lawrence Stern's Tristram Shandy. Lawrence Stern's Tristram Shandy. Okay. Tristram Shandy by Lawrence Stern. Who wrote novels like Evelina? Evelina is a novel by Fanny Burney or Frances Burney. Frances Burney. Frances Burney was a major novelist of the 18th century. Apollyon is a monster in which work? Apollyon is a monster in which work? The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. It's a religious allegory. It's a religious allegory. Okay? Correct. Correct. Last question to you. Tell me. Samuel Pepys and John Evelyn. They were diarists of which period? Samuel Pepys and John Evelyn. They were diarists of which period? They were diarists of the Restoration period. Restoration period. Okay, got it? So I hope you all liked the session. I hope you all enjoyed answering the questions. Right? Okay. So I will see you all again tomorrow at 9:30. And tomorrow I will bring more questions. Okay. Tomorrow I will bring more questions. All right. Great then. So please take care and we will meet again tomorrow. Okay. Bye.